Shalom, shalom, shalom. Israel, brother Amos with the Watchman for Israel. First and foremost, as we always do, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, to the brothers pushing this truth and strong sincerity, laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice, doing all they can for the hopeful elect, and for those who desire learning. I want to give y'all a strong shalom to the sisters holding it down in the household, reverencing their husbands, being a teacher of good things to the younger women and unto the children. I want to give y'all a strong shalom. And to the men and women forsaking this world, coming out of this world, and turning back to our God, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. I want to compel y'all to be as the church of Berea, to search the scriptures daily and diligently to see if the words that be spoken to you are true or not. Right, let the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua be true, and every man a liar. If it's not, thus saith the Lord, cast it behind you and seek unto teachers and unto men who speak thus saith the word according to the Holy Bible. If it doesn't come out the scriptures, cast it behind you and pay it no mind, right? And stay away from those pastors, evangelists, teachers, apologetics, whatever they call themselves, who desire to fill up their congregation off of the words of filthy lucre to fill their own belly, right? So today, quick cold cut, right? It's for the men. It's for the men to build their houses up the right way, right? So growing up in Babylon the Great, we had a few examples of how men should build their houses up, right? We had Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. We had Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Who else? Dr. Huxtable from the Huxtables or the Cosby Show, right? But their foundation wasn't correct, right? It was a sitcom. It was a joke. Things should make us laugh. But the Lord has commanded us to set our houses in order, get our affairs correct, do what we got to do to make sure that our houses will be saved in these last days. Yes, salvation is predicated on the husband, and sisters who aren't married by keeping the commandments and, faith and everything that comes along with that. But this is for the brothers who have children, wives, right? People who depend on them for salvation. Right? This is Joshua chapter 24, verse number 14. Now, therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve you the Lord. If it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in those lands you dwell. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Right? The latter part of that verse, where it said, as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord, that's how it's supposed to be. Not just I'm in the truth and my kids and my wife do whatever the hell they want to do. You are the head of that house. You are the chief cornerstone of that house. Right? You are supposed to be making sure that your family is keeping the commandments. You're supposed to be making sure that your wife understands to prepare for the Sabbath. You are supposed to instill in your children how to walk accordingly to the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? As for you and your household, you should serve the Lord. It's not, oh, my wife is just a demon, she won't get it. Your wife is going to submit unto you when you're doing the right thing. Your wife is going to follow suit if you're bringing forth the righteous fruits of keeping the commandment. It's going to go hand in hand. Right, let's go to Deuteronomy. All right, Deuteronomy 11. And verse number 9. I'm going to start at 18. Right? And it says, therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that you may be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall teach them your children. Speaking of them, what's going on? So like it. And ye shall teach them unto your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, when thou risest up, right? And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house, upon thy gates, that your days may be multiplied in the days of your children in the land which the Lord swore unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth, right? So you're supposed to be teaching your children. And we understand that, their children, they can only catch and grasp with so much. But you're supposed to make it enjoyable to serve the Lord, right? And then they say that we didn't serve the Lord in joyfulness and happiness and Deuteronomy 28:47. We're supposed to make it enjoyable for our children. Let them see that it's enjoyable to serve the Lord. Teach them little games. Ask them questions when you're walking outside with them. When you're watching TV, oh, they're eating ham. Can we eat ham? They should be able to say no. And then act like you're doing something to encourage them to want to serve the Lord. Right? The Lord commanded us to teach our children. And your wives are supposed to teach your children. So how are your wives supposed to teach your children? By your wives learning from you. Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 14. Right? 1 Corinthians, we go to 35. 1 Corinthians 14 and 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it's a shame for a woman to speak in the church. Right? So, if Salaki, so if the wives, if the women are going to learn anything, they should learn from their husbands at home. So it's required that you men teach your wives. Show your wives the way that they should move. Teach them how to be a righteous wife of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But do it in a loving manner. Right? Not overbearing, not being a lordship, but show them in meekness and humbleness so that your children may be, your children can be nurtured and risen and grown in this truth, unlike how we were. It goes hand in hand, but first and foremost, it starts with the wife at home, right? You wives are supposed to be able to be submissive, and husbands are supposed to be able to lead the correct way. So if she's asking you questions and you can't say, I don't know, or if she's asking you questions and you're like, well, I don't know, it's not my job to teach you, you're supposed to read on your own, you're going off. You're being wicked, you're being a heretic. Because how is you and your Lord you and your house supposed to serve the Lord if you're not showing them how to serve the Lord? If you're not teaching them what it means to walk in the truth, if you're not leading by example, you're being one way when you're around the brothers and being another way when you at home. It's impossible to serve the Lord halfway. So you have to show and put forth the action so your children know how to move in these last days. So your children know to deny the flesh. So your children know that it's a greater honor to die for Yahweh Shem Yahushua than to give the sacrifice of fools, right? Or the copper plea, or to fall short in the hour of temptation, right? So men, you have a huge responsibility. See what is good for your household and see what is evil, and keep your house far from it. Right? Let your wives understand how to be more sisterly. Teach them how to be more sisterly. Teach them how to be a better mother. Teach them how to be a better wife. But ultimately, men, it's up to you to be better husbands, fathers, and brothers so that you can guide your households into the kingdom of heaven if it be in the Lord's will. Right, with that, I say shalom.